Lena, small talk is such a funny thing. People think it's this tiny side skill, like an optional extra. But for English learners, it's actually one of the strongest tools they can have. Because when you're good at small talk, you can connect with anyone, anywhere. And you don't feel frozen when someone starts talking to you.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people confuse small talk with fake talk. Like they think it's shallow or not meaningful. But honestly, it's the doorway to every meaningful conversation. Nobody jumps straight into deep topics with someone they just met. Even native speakers warm up first, like stretching before a workout.
And the best part is, small talk doesn't need perfect grammar. People worry too much about sounding correct. But small talk is more about showing a little personality, a little warmth, even a little humor sometimes.
Oh yeah, humor is a lifesaver. Not big jokes, not stand-up comedy, just small human reactions. Like, if the elevator stops at every single floor, I'll look at the person next to me and be like, we might need snacks before we get out of here. And they always laugh because they're thinking the exact same thing.
Yes, that's what makes small talk easy. You comment on what you both experience. People overthink it. They think they need some perfect script. But sometimes the simplest little line works. Long day? Busy morning? That line is crazy today. It's nothing complicated.
You know what else? English small talk is gentle. It's soft. It's light. People aren't trying to be impressive. They're just trying to make the moment more comfortable. For example, instead of saying, this coffee tastes bad, a native speaker might say, I think they were sleepy when they made this one. Same meaning, but softer.
That softness is important. A lot of learners come from languages where directness equals honesty. But in English, if you're too direct in a casual situation, people feel like the tone is heavy.
Yes, and learners often jump too quickly into serious topics. Like someone says, how's your day going? And the learner gives their whole life story. You don't need that. You can keep it light. Not bad, just busy. That's enough to open the door.
And the person will decide if they want to take the conversation deeper. That's how it works. Small talk is basically testing the temperature of the water. You're seeing if the other person wants to talk more or just keep it simple.
And once you start practicing these small moments, your English confidence goes up so fast because suddenly English isn't this big, serious exam. It becomes part of everyday life.
And honestly, it's fun. Little human moments, little shared reactions, little jokes. Small talk is where you learn to sound real, not perfect. And that's what people connect with.
You know what I keep noticing, Jace? A lot of learners already know small talk phrases, but they freeze because they don't trust their reaction. Like, they hear someone say, nice day today, and their brain becomes a loading screen.
Oh yes, the spinning wheel moment. And the funny thing is, that moment is exactly where small talk begins. People think it starts with perfect vocabulary, but it actually starts with how quickly you respond, even if the response is simple.
Like, they don't need to answer with poetry. Nobody expects a weather report. Just a simple, yeah, I love days like this. And suddenly you're in the conversation.
Exactly. And sometimes your tone says more than your words. You can say a very basic sentence, but if you sound relaxed, people feel comfortable. Like if someone says, how's it going? And you reply, pretty good, can't complain, with a smile, boom, you sound 100% natural.
And tone is something learners forget to practice. They focus so hard on the words that they forget the energy. Because small talk is basically energy exchange. Light, friendly, easy.
And the magic is that English small talk doesn't need creativity. You just react to whatever is happening around you. Waiting at a bus stop? That bus is taking its time today. Grocery store? Why is it always my lane that moves slow? Coffee shop? I think everyone woke up at the same time today.
Those lines are so simple, but so real. It's everyday English, not textbook, not over-prepared. And you know why they work? Because they reflect the moment both people are experiencing at the same time.
Exactly. Shared experience equals easy connection. But some learners think small talk requires
perfect grammar, and that fear freezes them.
Let me tell you something. Native speakers break grammar all the time in small talk. They say stuff like, long day? Not, was it a long day for you? Or, crazy weather, huh? Not, isn't the weather crazy today? We chop sentences, we shortcut, we don't finish thoughts sometimes.
And that's why small talk is actually the best English practice. You get used to natural, messy, real English, not perfect, polished English.
And the best practice for learners is simple. Notice the moment, say one small thing, keep it light.
Yeah, and the keep it light part matters more than people think. Small talk isn't the time to unload your whole week, or explain your life situation, or confess that you're exhausted because your neighbor's dog barked all night.
Right. Leave the life story for later. Small talk should feel like dipping your toe into the water, not jumping into the deep end.
Another mistake people make is trying to sound too formal. You know when someone says, "I am doing quite well, thank you for asking," and the other person instantly knows English isn't their first language?
Yes, and it's so unnecessary. They could just say, good, you? And that's way more natural.
I always tell learners, you don't need big sentences. You need warm ones.
Exactly. Warm beats perfect every single time. Like when someone says, nice shirt, and the learner panics and wants to say something deep, you can just say, thanks, I like yours too. Done. Easy.
And compliments are one of the easiest small talk tools. People love hearing something positive. Not fake, not overdone, just real.
Another thing people underestimate is little reactions. Native speakers use them nonstop. Oh, really? No way. Seriously? That's funny. Same here. These tiny replies show you're listening without you needing to think of long responses.
And the best part? Every learner can use them, even at a basic level.
I wish more learners knew that small talk isn't a performance. It's more like two people dancing slowly. You take little steps, you follow the rhythm, you don't try to show off.
And if the rhythm feels awkward at first, that's fine. Every language's small talk culture is different.
Exactly. And English small talk is very floaty. Soft tone, soft words, small reactions. Even the topics are soft. Weather, days, simple observations, small compliments, easy questions.
And once learners get the softness, everything starts clicking. Because English small talk isn't about the topic, it's about the tone.
Tone is the key. If your tone is friendly and relaxed, you can literally talk about a tree and still sound natural.
You know, one of my favorite small talk moments ever was with a taxi driver. He just pointed at the traffic and said, "Classic Tuesday." And that was it. We talked for 10 minutes after that.
See? Tiny line, big connection. That's the power of small talk.
And learners deserve to feel that confidence too.
And you know what else I've noticed? The best small talk moments actually come from tiny details that most people ignore. Like the little things around us that nobody comments on, but everyone notices deep inside. I feel like learners forget they're allowed to talk about those things too.
Right, like those small observations make you instantly relatable. If you're in a cafe and the music is a bit too loud, you can just laugh and say, "Ha, feels like a concert in here today." And suddenly the person next to you is nodding because they're thinking the same thing. It's these shared little thoughts that open doors.
And the cool part is, you don't need to be clever. You don't need to be funny on purpose. You just need to be real. People feel that immediately. Even native speakers appreciate someone who can talk about everyday life without making it complicated.
Yeah, and small talk is really about showing you're present. Like, you're not trying to force anything, you're just paying attention to the moment. And that's actually a skill. A simple one, but a powerful one.
I think learners underestimate how much confidence comes from these tiny interactions. When you practice them, even with short lines, you start discovering your English personality, the relaxed version of yourself that comes out when you're not translating or overthinking.
And your English personality doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be approachable. That's why natives often use little fillers or softeners without even realizing it. Things like feels like, kinda, sort of, looks like. These tiny words make you sound less stiff and more natural.
Yes, and honestly, small talk becomes way easier once you stop imagining it as talking to a stranger. Imagine it as sharing the moment. Because you're both already in the same moment, you just acknowledge it.
Like when you're in a grocery store and something funny happens, or a kid drops something and everyone chuckles, or someone says oops and looks embarrassed. Those are perfect small talk moments. Even if you just say, happens to all of us, you've just created a warm interaction.
Or when the weather changes suddenly and everyone's confused. Classic small talk opportunity. Just a simple, did the weather get confused today? And boom, conversation started.
One thing that really helps learners is not expecting every small talk moment to become a long conversation. Sometimes it's just 2 lines and that's enough. It's not about length, it's about confidence.
Exactly. Small talk is like stretching your language muscles. You don't stretch for 10 minutes, you just loosen up a little. And once you feel relaxed, other conversations become smoother.
And because small talk is low pressure, it's actually a great place to train your English reactions. You know, those quick phrases that show you're engaged. Like when someone says something surprising, you can respond with, "No way." For real? You're kidding. These tiny lines make you sound so alive in English.
And learners almost never practice them, but natives use them constantly because they're simple. They keep the energy moving. They're like little, yes, I'm here with you signals.
And here's the thing, small talk helps you understand English culture too. Not big cultural lessons, but the rhythm, the politeness, the easy back and forth. When learners start feeling that rhythm, everything gets easier. Listening, speaking, reacting, it all becomes smoother.
Yes, because English conversations are about the flow, not the perfection. You don't need long sentences. You don't need strong opinions. You just need the willingness to share a tiny part of the moment.
And once you realize that, small talk becomes fun. Like when someone in front of you drops their keys and you laugh and say, story of my life, and they laugh back. It's such a simple moment, but it makes your day better.
Those micro connections make language learning emotional, in a good way. You start associating English with warmth, friendliness, and real human moments, not tests and pressure.
Exactly. And when English becomes emotional, your progress skyrockets. Because emotions make memory stronger. A 5-second laugh with someone teaches you more about natural English than a whole grammar chapter.
And that's what we want for our listeners, to feel English, not just study it, to live inside it a little, even in small moments.
And once you get comfortable with small talk, bigger conversations stop feeling scary. They're just an extension of the same vibe. Longer, deeper, but still relaxed.
So the next time you're out and someone gives you a tiny opportunity, a smile, a comment, a small question, take it. Even a simple, yeah, true, is enough. The more of these moments you collect, the more natural your English becomes.
Small talk is your warm-up, your confidence generator, your social doorway. And it's one of the best things you can practice if you want your English to feel real.
You know, Jace, something I wish learners understood earlier is that small talk isn't about information. It's about atmosphere. It's like lighting a candle before you relax. You're not doing it because you need light. You're doing it because it sets the mood.
That is such a good way to put it, because honestly, people remember how you made them feel more than the exact words you used. I've had small talk moments where the other person didn't speak perfect English at all, but they were warm, polite, and relaxed, and that alone made the whole interaction enjoyable.
And sometimes the charm is in the little imperfections. When a learner laughs at their own English slip or uses a funny phrase by accident, natives actually find it endearing. It makes you human. It makes the conversation softer, not awkward.
Yeah, learners are always scared of making mistakes, but small talk is the safest place to make them. Nobody cares if your grammar goes on vacation for a sentence or two. The point is connection, not correctness.
And you know what? Even the topics don't matter that much. People think they need something interesting to say, but honestly, some of the best small talk moments happen around the most boring things. Waiting in line, sitting on a bus, walking into a slightly cold room and joking about needing a jacket.
Right, and sometimes you don't even need a full sentence. There are these tiny reactions that feel very native. Like if it suddenly starts raining outside, you can just shake your head and go, typical. Or, of course it rains now. People immediately relate. It's these little shared annoyances that build a sense of community.
Exactly. And small talk is basically the art of noticing. It's noticing someone's new haircut, noticing the traffic, noticing the slow elevator, noticing someone struggling with their bag,
noticing the weather shift, noticing the little joke in the situation.
Yeah, you're not inventing anything. You're just observing life out loud. And because it's based on real life, it always feels natural. You don't have to prepare topics. The moment gives you everything you need.
And honestly, learners don't need to talk much at all. Small talk is usually very short lines. Oh, wow. No way. Really? That's funny. I know, right? These tiny phrases carry a lot of emotional weight. They show interest, agreement, surprise, all the important social signals.
Yes, and those reactions are part of what makes English conversations sound alive. When learners skip them, the talk feels flat. It's like watching a movie with no soundtrack. The words are there, but the emotion is missing.
And I love how small talk can turn strangers into temporary teammates. Like when you're both waiting for the train and someone sighs dramatically, that tiny sigh is an invitation. And if you catch it, you can say, "Feels like it's taking forever today." And suddenly you're both on the same team.
That's so true, and sometimes that tiny moment becomes a whole 5-minute conversation without you even noticing. You just flow naturally because there's no pressure.
But here's a thing a lot of learners misunderstand. Small talk is not supposed to be deep. If someone asks, "How are you?" they're not asking for an emotional autobiography. Just something light. "I'm good. Tired, but good." That's enough. If they want more, they'll ask.
And the beauty is small talk acts like a door. You can keep it closed, open it a little bit, or open it wide. It depends on the situation. Sometimes the other person will walk through that door and start a deeper conversation. Sometimes they won't, and both are fine.
Right. And learners shouldn't see short small talk as failure. Even natives have tons of tiny conversations during the day that last only a few seconds, like the classic morning and morning exchange. That's still small talk, and it still matters.
Exactly. English is full of those little interactions, and they create this comfortable rhythm in daily life. Once learners join that rhythm, English stops feeling heavy. It becomes lighter, more natural.
Another thing that helps is adjusting your eyes and face. I know that sounds funny, but body language carries half the conversation. A small smile, a relaxed posture, raising your eyebrows a little when you react, it makes everything smoother.
Yes, and people underestimate how much emotion is communicated through tone. Really versus really. Same word, different impact.
And learners don't need perfect pronunciation either. They just need a friendly tone. Tone forgives everything. It covers grammar mistakes, vocabulary gaps, pronunciation slip-ups. If your tone is warm, nobody cares about the rest.
I had a student once who always said, "I am exhausted to the death," which is, dramatic. But she always said it with a laugh. And guess what? People loved talking to her. They loved her energy. Her English wasn't perfect, but she was fun. And that's what people remember.
That's the secret. People connect to personality, not accuracy.
And small talk is the training ground for your personality in English. It's where you test your reactions, your humor, your style, your comfort. It's where you find your flow.
And once learners get comfortable with that flow, bigger conversations stop being scary because the foundation is there. You know how to start, you know how to react, you know how to keep the energy alive.
Exactly. Everything grows from small talk. Friendships, work relationships, networking, dating, even learning opportunities. It all starts with those tiny, soft, warm exchanges.
And to everyone listening, start small. Notice moments. React gently. Smile. Keep it light. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for connection.
And don't forget, even if the moment is short, it still counts. Every tiny conversation builds your English confidence brick by brick.
And that's why small talk matters more than people realize.
Exactly. And if you want more episodes like this and more help to make your English feel real and natural,
Then make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like so we know you're enjoying these lessons,
and share the episode with someone who wants to feel more confident in English conversations.
we're proud of you. Keep going, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.